if you want to make a lot of money at a very young age, you're going to have to go through a period of your life where you are extremely selfish, where you put your loved ones, maybe your girlfriend, your close family, your friends, to the side and prioritize your own goals, your own visions, and your own wants and needs above everything else. And in this video, I want to explain to you like why understanding this concept took me from being dead broke 3 years ago, having actually $500 to my name, living with my parents in their house in Sweden, to now having built a life of complete freedom where I can travel wherever I want in the entire world, whenever I want, work from my laptop and making multiple six figures by the time I turn 22 years old. And if you understand this concept and actually take action on this, your life can change very, very quickly. But it's not going to be in the way that you expect it to be, because most people think about this the completely wrong way. You're probably thinking about this the completely wrong way right now when it comes to like how to actually prioritize. Because if we kind of backtrack here a bit, just to understand some context, is that the biggest reason why I got into like business in the first place, why I got into entrepreneurship in the first place, and probably you as well, is because you want to be able to provide for the people around you, right? You want to be able to provide for your future family, for your current, like your parents, if you want to do that. Maybe like you have friends, maybe you have a relationship, a girlfriend, you want to be able to like provide for these people around you, right? That's why you want to do this in the first place. That's at least something that drove me a lot to get into it. Be able to give people around me a life of freedom and whatever they want, basically. The contradictory thing though is that in order for you to be able to create that life, you're going to have to go through a period where you basically just completely neglect other people's wants and needs, and you only focus on yourself and what you need to improve on and the things that you need to develop, and basically putting all the time, energy into yourself and neglecting birthdays, weddings, not doing a lot of crazy shit and like trips and providing for your, maybe for your girlfriend and for your family and things like that. And this might be very like kind of you might not be like agree with me when I say this. You might be saying like, what is he talking about? Like this is BS, this is way too extreme. And I'm not saying that this is like the only way to do it, but this is actually something that's worked really, really well for me when it comes to building a life of freedom. Because I truly believe that if you want to create a life of freedom for yourself and your future family, and you'll be able to like be very, very selfless in the future and be able to provide freedom for other people, you're going to have to go for a period where you prioritize only building that future, where you sacrifice for the short term in order to build that long-term vision. And you hear a lot of gurus talk about this stuff, you know, where it's like, you need to sacrifice in the short term in order to build like the long-term reality and the long-term goals that you have. And this is exactly what I'm talking about in this video right now. Is that understanding that if you want to create this future for yourself where your kids doesn't have to worry about money, where you can provide the best life for your future wife, where you can retire your parents at an early age, you want to be able to like do all these things for yourself and for your family. The way that you will get there, the way that you will create that life is by you locking the fuck in right now. However old you are right now, if you lock in right now, that's going to be the future. But if you prioritize all those different things right now, where you spend a lot of money, a lot of time on your friends and your family right now, that future is probably not going to be as good as it could have been. And I think it's probably like the most hard concept to understand when it comes to like business, self-development, is just being able to prioritize long-term benefit above short-term benefit, you know? Because this is hard, you know, like when you have family, like you have friends, people that are telling you that like there's things happening, there's events going on. I know this is a big thing for myself as well, because I've really been there like basically doing what I'm telling you to do in this video, which is basically prioritizing my own self-development and growing as a person and business and things like that. Breaking up with girlfriends, not going to family events, all these different things in order to push stuff forward. It's been one of the hardest things that I've done in my journey so far. It makes it feel very lonely. It makes it feel like you're kind of neglecting other people. But I think that going this extreme way is the way to succeed. Because like imagine there's kind of two different paths you can take. Path number one is you go for a life where you're constantly prioritizing other people. You know, you're being selfless all the time, which makes it you're never gonna have time to actually put focus on yourself and actually like really getting ahead and actually building the life that you want for yourself. Because if you're constantly focusing on other people, you're never going to have the priority of building something of real value, like building a true empire or like true wealth for yourself. You know, it's not going to be possible to do it unless you're being very selfish for like a couple of years. You know, the option number two is you lock in and you are selfish. You know, you work on yourself, you grow the business, and people around you they might hate you for a while. You know, your friends, your family might feel like you don't care about them, but then like in 5 years, you have everything. You know. You can give the best life to your parents. You can retire them at an early age. Your wife doesn't have to work. Your kids never have to worry about money ever again. You can drive nicest cars, go on nicest trips, be able to just do whatever you want, whenever you want, because you're locked in for some time. That is actually like the two different alternatives you have. And you might think that I'm kind of extreme with this, and like I might even be very extreme with this, but at least this stuff has worked for me. You know, I feel like just locking in and like giving myself very like extreme kind of options has worked really well in my life, because then it's very black or white. You know, it's like you either do this or you do this, and it makes it so easy to just like know, okay, this is the plan, this is what I'm going to be doing. I don't have a lot of like blur and a lot of kind of complexity. I know this is the path I need to take to get to my goal, and that's what I'm doing. Is like, for example, I left Sweden when I was 19 years old. I had 4K in the bank, no plan, moved halfway across the world to Medellin, Colombia, and I stayed there in total for about 2 years. You know. And everything changed when I went there. I went there broke, just landed a remote sales job that I didn't really know like how it was gonna go. And I just like started figuring stuff out, you know, because like the only thing that I was focusing on was just like figuring out my own life. I left my family behind, I left my like girls that I met before, previous relationships, and like parents, everything, all that, friends, pretty much all friends that I used to know, left them behind, went halfway across the world to lock in and focus on myself, grew myself. And then when I traveled back now, like a couple of weeks ago, my life looks completely different. And I'm not where I want to be yet. I have a lot of time, or a lot of things that I want to like do more and like level up, and there's still a long way to go to get to where I want to go. But this periods of just like locking in and just like eliminating all distractions, friends, family, and like being kind of like going into this, whatever you want to call it, like this monk mode. I think this is truly the way to level up in life. You have to go through a period of whether that's like 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, where you just lock in and you only focus on pushing one thing in your life forward. That's how you grow the most. Because you're never going to compete with someone who's like, if you have friends that you're spending time with, you have a girlfriend that you're going out with every single week, you have parents that you meet up with, you're going on all the birthdays, you're going on all the vacations and the trips that your family is taking, you're doing it, and you have like kind of a couple of different projects that you have going on, you have a big friend group. Like, that person is never going to be able to compete with someone who's locked in on one single thing. Who has a small group of friends they meet up with like a couple of times per month, that has a family they don't see too often, they have one business or one like career that they're doing, where they focus on that thing every single day. That's their main focus. When they wake up in the morning, they know that this is the exact thing that they're pushing forward. That person is gonna win every single time of the day, every single time in that game, because of the fact that they have one thing they're pushing forward. You can look at it, if you look at it like from like a mathematical perspective as well. If you have, let's say, like 100 energy units every single day, and you put 99% of those into one thing and pushing one thing, aka like your business and your career forward, versus if you have those energy units and you put 20 into your family, 20 into your girlfriend, 20 into hanging out with friends, and then you have, like you have 40 left for your business. Who is going to make the most progress? The other guy might look like he's more balanced, and it might look like he's more, he has a better life in the short term. Yeah, sure. But in the long term, who is going to make the most progress? It's going to be the second one, 100%. And this is the most hard thing to understand with business, but when you understand this, your life will change very, very quickly. At least it did for me. Because you understand that like, you're basically just going through seasons of just like pushing one thing forward. You go for a season of your life where maybe fitness is a priority and you're working on that more than anything else. Then you go for a season of your life where money is the biggest priority. And fitness, you keep it stable, relationships, you keep it stable, and you push the money part forward in your life. That's how I look at life at this point, and it helps so much. It's like, no, okay, this is the boat that we're pushing forward right now. This is the part of my life where I'm focusing on the most of growth right now. And the other things will not grow as much during this period. And that is fine, accepting that. Because I think one of the hardest things as entrepreneurs is you have this mindset of like, I want to grow in all areas of my life. I want to have the best relationships, meet up with like the best girls, have the best relationship with my family, go on the best trips, make the most money, be in the best shape. You know, you want to max out all the different stats at once. And that becomes very hard to do, you know, when you're trying to max out like 5 different things at the same time, instead of focusing on like one thing. Because if you want to get extraordinary results in like any of these areas, you're going to have to focus only on one thing for a certain amount of time in order for you to be able to put in enough effort in that one thing for it to grow as much as you want it to do. You're never gonna get in the best shape, make all the money that you want, be in the best relationship, have the best relationship with your family, travel the world all at once. You might like achieve all those little things, but it's not going to be achieved throughout the same time because you're just spread too thin to be able to achieve any extraordinary results while doing all those little things at the same time. So I think the best thing to do if you want to get going in this and like apply this principle, especially if you want to get your money right, you know, if you want to figure out like the money stuff, actually be able to start traveling, get a life of freedom for yourself, is figure out one thing that you can get into. In my opinion, the best thing to do if you want to create freedom for yourself in the most quickest and most efficient way possible and set yourself up for the rest of your life is learn sales. Learn remote high-ticket sales, setting or closing. That's where you can basically just learn a skill set of learning how to sell for businesses, work for online information product businesses, and make a lot of money doing that. This is what I've done to make multiple six figures before I turned 22 years old. And you can do it from anywhere. You can work from your computer. So learn that skill is by far the best way to start because you're focusing on one single skill set. You're not building a business and doing 5 different things. You're focusing on one single skill, mastering that, and then just doing that for one company. It's like literally the definition of simplicity and just focusing on one single path to take. So that's what I would do. Focus on that if you want to grow your money part. If you want to do fitness, find someone who can like teach you fitness stuff. I'm more about like the business stuff and like entrepreneurship and how to actually make money online. So if you want help from me like one-on-one and get the blueprint of how to actually get into remote sales, land your first sales role in the next month, and get my one-on-one coaching, click the link down below and I can help you out inside of my inner circle, which is basically where I give you everything you need to land a remote sales role and scale to 5-10K a month doing that. So if you want that help, click the link down below. If you have any questions, DM me on Instagram. I reply to all DMs over there. Thanks for watching the video and I'll see you guys tomorrow as always in the next video. Ciao!